So again, you know who I am. Anyway, I want to comment on another message that the same individual had sent me. And he was responding to one of my videos, but what he said had nothing to do with the video. The video that he was responding to was MOV04954, and the title was Special Birthday Present for Bashar al-Assad. And what he wrote, and again, there's no connection between the video and what he wrote. What he wrote, though, was, quote, "Then what did the passengers mean when they said, quote, let's roll, end of quote, question mark? I believe the passengers acted. Phone conversations with relatives prove they acted." You know, it's amazing that we're now looking at, 12 years after the event, and people like this particular individual believe that, number one, it wasn't real, and number two, when I say it wasn't real, it wasn't really an attack by Saudis, it was attacked by our government. Yeah. And he sent another email that made mention of how the Twin Towers collapsed. Well, the reality is that buildings are designed for certain characteristics. I was in architecture for a lot of years, you know, so I do understand what I'm making reference to at this point. And what they're not subjected to is having a 757 jet that weighs, I don't know, 300,000 pounds, 200,000 pounds, impacting the building at 500 plus miles an hour. Now, that by itself, I don't think would have brought the building down. What brought the building down was the jet fuel. Yeah. The aircrafts were fully loaded because they were going from New York to California. So their tanks were full. And that jet fuel burned, and it burned, and it burned, and it melted a lot of the structure. The building above it collapsed, and the weight of the building above it, as it came down, demolished each floor below it. And the net floor came down, and it was just like a house of cards. You saw it go like that. So the reason the buildings went down again was because of the jet fuel on the aircraft that was burning at a very intense heat, which destroyed the metal frame of the floors that were near the fire. But it's truly amazing how even now people believe that, again, it was an inside job, the building was bombed. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It's amazing what happens, though, when you really don't take the time to try to dig in and understand what happened. It's easier to say, well, it was blown up by the government. Well, I think the Bush government was corrupt, and that came out when we found out that Cheney, the vice president, was the one that started NSA. Yeah, it's completely crazy. Our government has gone off the rail a long time ago. And Obama, all he's done is he supersized everything, you know, with his czars and his Muslim cohorts in very key cabinet positions, and idiots like Janet Napolitano. I think her last day was like Friday, so she'll go now screw up the California school system, but they're screwed up anyway, so how much more can you screw it up? Anyway, I just think it's interesting how people believe what they believe. What do you think? Let me know if you think it was an inside job.